Multitasking is bad, right? Well, I think multitasking gets a bit of a bad rap. And today I'm going to talk about the one area that you should be multitasking in. Hey there, my dear. I am leadership development coach Kathy Archer and author of best-selling book, Mastering Confidence. And before we get going, I want to say a big, huge thank you to all of you who have bought the book, listened to the book, shared the book, and joined the Mastering Confidence Intensive, which starts today. But the book is back on the top at Amazon, and it is got the red or the orange flag that says bestseller. So I am so happy today because as an author, you put your heart and soul into something, and to actually have it land and make a difference for people is pretty incredible. This morning I had an email from one of my readers who said, I loved your books. And she wrote it in capital. And she said that it made an incredible difference in her life. And it was the exercises and the work that she did in it that made that difference for her. And that's what the Mastering Confidence Intensive is all about. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But before we get there, I'm going to share this into my Confident Women Leaders group. And while I am doing that, please make a note in the chat box, whether you are listening live or following on the replay. And tell me your name, perhaps, or where you are checking in from. I like to know how far of a reach I get. So I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing. This is not a time for multitasking. We are going to share. Internet is always so slow. Sharing to a group, Confident Women Leaders group. Ta-da! Posted. Shutting off my phone so that I don't get any crazy messages halfway through. And we are good to go. All right. So the Mastering Confidence Intensive starts today. It's not too late to join. You can certainly join if you are interested, but it is you, me, and a group of other women in a learning community where we are not just going to read Mastering Confidence, but we are going to study it for 6 weeks. So it starts today. Silver River Coaching. Sometimes I talk too fast. silverrivercoaching.com/MC intensive, and that will get you the 2 options for you to consider which one is best for you, get you into the group. We start today. It's not too late to join. Everybody's at that same place, but join. And I think it's important to think about, last week I talked about the benefits of a learning community. And so if you're thinking, why would I want to do this with a group of other people, go back to that Facebook Live and watch it. There's a blog post that I did about the benefits of being in a learning community. It's really, really important, I think, as us women leaders often feel isolated and alone, to find a group of women who are on a similar journey as us and lean in and find that support and that connection that we need. I think that's really important. So today we're talking about the one area leaders should be multitasking. Well, let me tell you, I know that you're a busy leader. I know that you spend most of your days running around chasing fires, probably solving everybody else's problems and never getting to the stuff that you want to get done, never getting to those things that you want to do. The work that I do is I give you the inner and outer tools to turn that busyness around so that you can move from surviving to thriving in both leadership and life. Because here's the truth. Your schedule is probably not going to change drastically. The number of things that you have given to you that are on your to-do list, the meetings, the phone calls, the emails, all of that kind of stuff is probably never going to go away. That's just leadership. Let's be honest about that from the get-go. That's the reality of the position you are in. Your perception of that can change, and that's what I work to do often. I give you some of the tools to help you navigate that. We've talked about those along the way. But one thing you need to remember is that despite that busyness, despite that schedule, despite all of the things you need to do, a leader needs to be constantly growing and developing themselves. That is the mark of a good leader. A leader recognizes that I didn't get into this position and I'm not perfect where I am and it's not done and over with. That as I continue to move forward in my leadership, I need to continue to grow myself and my skills and my abilities, who I am, how I'm showing up, the impact that I'm having on my people, that I'm creating that legacy that I want, the living legacy, meaning when I walk out of the room today, what are they saying about me? I want to know that I'm impacting that in a positive way. I want to know that I'm motivating my staff and inspiring them to do the work rather than forcing them and pushing them along. I want to know that as a leader, I'm having the ability to take this group of people and have an impact in the community that we serve, the clients that we serve, the customers that we're serving, the people that we are serving. I want to know that we're doing a good job. And I can't just sit here and put out fires and deal with staff conflict and office drama all day. I actually got to do something to move this group and this work that we're doing forward. That takes a ton of personal growth and development. That takes a lot of training on your part. When do you fit all that in? How do you fit all that in? Leaders are readers. Leaders are into growth and development. And so this is the part that I think is really, really important. We've talked about confidence and your ability to feel good as a leader. And that starts with a level of competence. You need to have the skills to do it, then the courage to do it, and that you get to that level of confidence after all of that happens. But where do you get that competence from? You need to be taking training. You need to be reading books. You need to be doing some online learning. You need to be studying and doing some of that inner growth. That's that competence piece. But where do you fit that in? You are a busy lady. You are swamped. You are overwhelmed. You are slammed. I've heard all of the words described when I'm coaching women. I get it. You're a busy lady. So where do you fit learning and reading and studying and growing in? Here's what we're talking about. I'm not talking about hours and hours a week. I'm talking about 10 minutes a day. If you can commit to 10 minutes a day of learning, maybe a little bit more, but minimum 10 minutes a day, you will be amazed to see at the level of growth that you feel and how that impacts your ability to impact those around you and influence those around you. 10 minutes a day will change your leadership experience. And let me tell you, when you change how effective you are in leadership, you're just going to feel better. I mean, it's frustrating and annoying, and it drags you down, and it leaves you bitter and annoyed and kind of grouchy at the end of the day when you're not having the impact you desire in your leadership. But when you start to make some tiny little tweaks, and when you start to develop that increased competence, so whether that's handling conflict, setting boundaries, having more of a strategic focus, whether it is being better at communicating, any of those skills that you're developing is an increased level of competence. And the more you can be a better, increase your level of competence, the better you're going to feel about your work. You're going to feel more confident. But that comes from skill building. 10 minutes a day will make an incredible difference. Here is the part where multitasking comes in. How do you fit that 10 minutes in a day? It's listening to books while you drive. That's the big secret. If you, and I know that most of you are driving or commuting or doing something that where you can fit this 10 minutes a day in. Audiobooks made an incredible difference in my life. And back in the day when I was traveling before cell phones came in, even I'm sure it was before cell phones came into being, I was listening to tapes. Stephen Covey, the highly effective 7 Habits of Highly Effective Leaders. I was listening to cassette tapes while I was driving to my sites that I was supervising. Then I shifted into CDs. I would listen to CDs. I listened to the whole, David Allen had a whole list, Getting Things Done, probably about 6 or 8 CDs that I listened to as I would drive. I commuted from Northern Alberta down to Edmonton on a regular basis for management meetings. And so I would listen to these audiobooks while I was driving. That time commuting and listening to that made an incredible difference in my life. I wish I'd had podcasts back then, because I would have been listening to podcasts as well, which is what I do now often when I'm driving. I'm either listening to audiobooks or podcasts often. That's what helps you put that learning in. And that's what's something that I think you can add to your day that is going to actually enhance your day rather than feel like you're adding one more thing. So 10 minutes a day. I'm going to tell you, I got some notes here. Don't you love my notes? You should see my notes when I'm doing these lives. I'm such a colorful geek. I am addicted to sticky notes, whiteboards, and to Sharpies. So those are the things that I use all the time when I'm trying to wrap my brain around things. The more color I can add, the better. But here's some other places where you can be listening to audiobooks. While you're driving, as I said, while you're cooking supper or making breakfast, I often have my phone going in the background where I'm listening to audiobooks. When I'm doing my hair and makeup, it takes me a little while to straighten my hair every day. When I'm with my family, my husband will actually, I'll have it on in the background, and he'll come in the room and I'll be going to shut it off. He's like, no, I want to listen to that, leave it on. So don't assume that it's like this big secret and you're the only one that can listen to it. You might find that there are other people around you who are interested as well. When you're working out or going for a walk, when you are folding laundry or doing any of your other household chores, I tuck my phone in my pocket and it goes around with me when I'm doing things. When you're eating lunch, all of those are times that you can actually squeeze that 10-minute space in to be listening and learning. And that's what's really, really important. So the download for today, because you know that I always give you a download, is at silverrivercoaching.com/guides. Had to think about that for a minute. And it is a guide you get to have a sneak peek into my library. I have listed and attached the links to 20 of my favorite leadership books. So I am a voracious audiobook listener, and I have an Audible account. And an Audible membership gives you one book a month for $14.99. So whether you're in the States or whether you're in Canada, for $14.99, you get one book a month. You get a credit. That credit allows you to listen to whatever book you want. So if you don't have a membership, some of those books cost $20 and $30 and $40. They range in length from an hour-long book to 10 or 15 or 20-hour-long books, depending on what you're listening to. The book on Nelson Mandela that I listened to was an incredibly long book, like 15 hours or something. But I have listed 20 of my top books. Now, I'm sure that you can guess what some of them are. The Brene Brown trio I've listed, because those books are important in our leadership, and I think we should be listening to those. The Getting Things Done, I already talked about. David Allen, if you want to do more on productivity. There's other books in here that help with productivity. Some on stress management, some on courage and confidence, some on leadership itself, some on mindfulness. So there are 20 books listed here that you can listen to help you increase your competence and confidence as a leader. And you can fit these into your already busy schedule. It's not like you can't listen to them now. So as I say, this is the download that you can get today, silverrivercoaching.com/guides, and I'll put the link in the notes after. But if you want to have a sneak peek into my library to know what I'm listening to, this is it, and this is what you can get. The other thing, of course, that you can get there is Mastering Confidence. So Mastering Confidence is available to you, and again, I'll put the links in. If you are new to Audible, your first book is free. So if you pop on over to Audible, get Mastering Confidence this month, you get it for free. You have to sign up for a membership, but you can cancel it at any point in time. So again, it's $14.99. You get, I think if you don't have the membership, Mastering Confidence is something like $20. So you get it for $14.99. You get it free this month, and then next month you get another book. As soon as you pop into the end of the month, you get another book. And so Mastering Confidence is just shy of 5 hours. So it won't take you that long to sneak. Honestly, it feels like 10 minutes isn't going to do it. But if you add 10 minutes every day, you will get through it in no time at all, and you will have read a book that you didn't have time for before. I wanted to share one quick quote from Audible because I thought it was really interesting. You've probably done this. You get a ton of books that you don't actually read or don't have time to finish, but Audible listeners, it's called the Audible Listener, that's the membership title. Audible listeners are voracious consumers. The average person who gets an Audible membership listens to 17 books a year, versus, or compared to, somebody who doesn't get an Audible membership, they only listen to 1 or 2 books a year. So it's kind of like buying a gym membership. When you get it, you kind of feel guilty, and you're like, I guess I better listen to another one, right? I guess I better go to the gym. When you commit to that $15 a month, that's it. Are you not worth $15 a month? I mean, seriously, if you want to grow your leadership, then get yourself this Audible membership. Get into listening while you drive, listening while you're cooking, listening while you are eating your lunch, whatever it is. That's the last thing that I want to talk about here is, in order to do this, you actually have to create a habit. Now, I've done a ton of stuff around habit building, and so you can go back and find some of that stuff as well. But you have to create the habit of listening to your audiobooks. So find a time that works for you. Play around with it for the first few weeks. See what you can do around, am I the type of person that can remember to put it on when I'm going through my breakfast morning routine? Is it a lunchtime activity? Is it something that I'll get in the habit of just turning on every time I'm driving? Maybe your commute to work is a half an hour, or maybe it's 10 minutes. Is that something that you can turn it on when you're doing that commute, whether you're riding the subway or the bus or driving yourself? But it's creating a habit. When you start to create a habit, you know what the habit is right now? You pop up on your phone and you go to Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest or email, right? That's or maybe each of those in that order. That's the habit you have now. What I want you to do is get into the habit of opening up your phone and going, listen to Audible, right? That I'm going to listen for 10 minutes before I check email, before I dive into all of those goodies on Pinterest, and before I see what's happening on Instagram. I am going to listen to 10 minutes, fill my brain with the positive stuff that I know is going to grow and develop me before I let everybody else influence me and change my day. It's creating that habit. And it's that habit of saying, I'm worth it, and my learning is important to me, and I'm going to put it a priority. I'm going to take that 10 minutes and start to learn and develop. So if you are interested, I'll put the link in, audible.ca or audible.com for those of you in the States. It's $15 a month, $14.99, whatever it is. Again, your first book is free. Go get Mastering Confidence for free. Try it out. See if you like the whole having an app on your phone, the Audible membership thing, listening to me talk to you. Some people have often said they want to have me whispering in their ear. Here's an opportunity to have me whisper in your ear. But head on over to Audible, get yourself an Audible membership, download Mastering Confidence, start listening, and then head on over to silverrivercoaching.com/guides and get into my personal library. Find out what the 20 top leadership books are that I've been listening to in my Audible membership, and start to figure out which one would fit next for me. After I'm done Mastering Confidence, what am I moving on to? And here's another side note I want to say. I often start with a library book, so I'll borrow the book and I'll kind of scan it and go, yeah, it's worth reading, or I can quickly read it while I've borrowed it. Then sometimes I'll get the audio version because I'll want to listen to it. So maybe I've borrowed it from the library and I've scanned it and go, it's worth listening to. Then I'll listen to it, and then sometimes I'll do the third thing, which is buy the book so that I can start making notes. You can see I don't read books, I study books. I highlight them, I make notes, I do the exercises, those kind of things. And so that's kind of the path that I often take. But I don't always buy every single book that I listen to, for sure. I have many that I've just listened to. And so it depends on what kind of a learner you are and how you need to learn. With Mastering Confidence, there's a whole free online course that you can get. You can get that at silverrivercoaching.com/MC links. Whole free online course that includes all of the exercises, videos to go with each of those exercises. You can go and do that. There's some downloads there as well. If you go there, there's a PDF you can get bookmark that gives you the inner guidance system, which I teach in Mastering Confidence, and a PDF of all of the exercises. So if you're listening to Mastering Confidence, you can go print off all the exercises so that you have them to write in and work through. Which leads me to the Mastering Confidence Intensive, which starts today. Many people will buy the book and not follow through with reading it or listening to it or finishing it or doing the exercises. Many people will sign up for the online course and still not finish it on their own. The Mastering Confidence Intensive creates the network, the community of women for you to learn and study Mastering Confidence together. If you want, there is coaching attached to some of it if that's the route you want to go, or just join the community and go through the book together. Have some accountability with each other in terms of reading and listening and learning and growing. That's what makes a difference for you. That's what changes your learning and grows and develops you. So Mastering Confidence starts today. Mastering Confidence Intensive starts today. Don't worry, even if you're watching this tomorrow, you can still sneak in. There's still time. Everybody's just getting settled, getting the book. When you buy Mastering Confidence Intensive, you automatically get the first few chapters downloaded to listen to. So if you're going to order the book and you have to wait for it to come in, no worries. You can still start reading right away. It's all there for you. But the bottom line is, the multitasking part that is good for you is use that downtime, or that time where you're doing stuff that's not taking a lot of brain power, rather than have your mind be filled with, all of the turmoil that's going on at work and all of the things that you need to do and actually causing you more stress in the background. Turn that time around and make it more effective time. Turn your driving time around. Turn your time where you are folding laundry, cleaning the bathroom, whatever it is you're doing, into learning time. And when you can take that and turn it maybe into 10 minutes a day of learning time for you, you will start to feel incredible growth in your leadership. You will start to see an impact in the way you are growing and developing the people around you, and you'll start to feel better, and that's going to have a trickle down effect, and you're going to start to notice that your personal life is starting to have that boost. You'll move from what we were talking about a few weeks ago, from that survival mode into thriving, just by starting to spark some of those new learning pieces in you. So again, audible.ca, search Mastering Confidence. I'll put the link in. Get your first book free on Audible. Get a membership to Audible so that you can listen to a book every single month for $14.99. Download my 20 top leadership books, and you will get a sneak peek into my library as to what I listen to, and have some options for you to think about. Once I'm done Mastering Confidence, what am I doing next month? Where am I learning next? If this has been helpful, please make sure you share. We should not be doing this alone, my dear. As leaders, especially women leaders, we often feel alone and isolated. We often feel like we are the only one going through this craziness, the only one struggling with so much that's happening. And the truth is, you're not alone. We're all going through this. So we may as well, acknowledge that and start to support each other and help each other out. That's what the Confident Women Leaders group is all about. If you want to join that, I'll put the link as well. That's a private Facebook group for just women leaders who want to learn and grow and develop their confidence in a supportive place and lean on each other. Again, all of the links I'll put in the notes when I'm done here. And thank you for joining me. And again, share if it's worth sharing, and I will see you next week. Thanks, my dear. Bye-bye.